Hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name's Amber. If you're a first-time visitor, I hope you subscribe and turn on that bell because I think you're going to like it around here. If you are a returning subscriber, woohoo, welcome back. You are amazing, okay? Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for making the things. I love it. So today's video is going to be 5 projects that I did over on my Facebook page. Now I know. I was on vacation. I didn't get any new DIYs filmed for you guys. I took time away. You know, sometimes we just need to take time away. So I am releasing you guys 5 projects that I did over there. But I know some of you guys have reached out and said, hey, add those videos here because I don't do Facebook. So if you have already seen these over on Facebook, you know, these are for the people who maybe haven't seen them. And if you have and you want to watch them again, this will be perfect for you. So if you are here watching this video, I hope you decide to become a part of the crafty crew. That's what I call my friends, my internet creative friends, are the crafty crew. I hope you decide to become part of our community. It's easy to do that. You just subscribe, you turn on the bell, come hang out with us on YouTube, and you come hang out with us on Facebook. I do have an Instagram where I post things in stories and things like that. But I feel like there's always something different happening on all the different platforms. You know, we're all, distracted like that. But I do hope that you decide to subscribe here on YouTube and join us and become part of our crew. And let me know in the comments, what you think of these different projects. I would love to know if you're going to make them. I would love to know if you want to see a few more of the videos that I have over on YouTube, as well as new projects that we're going to be working on. So without further ado, I will stop chit-chatting with you guys and I will let you get right on to the things. But before we go, don't forget, I try to always timestamp everything in the description box below. In fact, there'll be some links to my website. I have free printables. I have a paid membership group where we craft and I provide supply lists to my members. It's called the Creative Haven VIP. It's over on Facebook. You can learn more about that on my website. It is paid, so it's not a free group. I have a free group as well. And it's just lots to learn, lots to know. But I would love for you to come join us over in the Creative Haven. Again, the link will be in the description below. You can find it at my website, as well as a ton of free printables. I have a lot of free resources. There's a lot of fun blog posts over there, different things. And then if you feel froggy, come on jumping over to the Facebook and DIY with us live over there, because I love to do live videos over on Facebook as well. And I would just love to get to know you guys more. So welcome to my channel, friends. Again, this is the 15th video I've put out for you. But there's, we've reached 20,000 subscribers, which is woohoo amazing. This didn't sound excited at all, did it? But I really am excited. And I'm so excited to meet you, get to know you. I know it's, it's hard to do that when they're already recorded, but I love to read your comments. I love to see what you have to say. I love to hear your feedback. I love that you share the videos. Y'all are just so supportive and amazing, and I can't say thank you enough. So without further ado, go ahead, subscribe, turn on that bell, drop a quick hello, and we're going to get right to the projects. And don't forget, there's a bonus 6 video at the end of this video. So stick around for that one, and let's get to it. Okay, here's our 5 projects we're going to do today, and there is a 6th bonus one that you're going to find at the end of this video. So here's our first one. It is a Dollar Tree butter dish DIY. Super cute. I in fact used 1 butter dish, and of course I used some hair beads. I think it was from, I want to say they were from Dollar Tree. Pretty sure. If not, maybe they were from Michael's, possibly. But I used some popsicle sticks that were from Hobby Lobby as well. Some wood dowels from Dollar Tree. Twine. Glass salt and pepper shaker jars. And then I used some Dixie Belle paint. Of course, chip brushes, things like that. And some moss from Dollar Tree and some flowers as well. You'll see what we use in this video. And plus, I'll describe them in the supply list down below in the description. So I just started by using the Dixie Belle's, I think it's Midnight Sky. I used to be a retailer of Dixie Belle. I had a brick and mortar store, and so I have a lot of this left over. So I've used, you can use whatever paint you like. You don't have to use these paints. You can use pretty much anything. Unless you're going to put it outside, there's really no use. You can use regular acrylic paints. So just start by gluing on your feet to the bottom of the top of the butter dish, and then you're going to paint the whole thing, and then you're going to paint so it's, you know what I'm saying? The top's going to be the bottom's going to be the top. That's what we're basically doing here. So just start by painting and drying your paint. And I dried in sections so that I could touch it and not get the paint all over my hands. And then just make sure that it is dried before you go on to the next step, because we're going to dry brush this with some white paint. Now, I am going to be using these cutters that you get at Harbor Freight to trim down these popsicle sticks. So you're going to need those. And then I'm just taking these regular popsicle sticks and I just mapped them out, laid them out so that I can see the placement and the fit. And so this size popsicle sticks from Hobby Lobby was a perfect fit, but I do believe that the same ones at Dollar Tree are the same size. So you can use those, and you're going to use the same popsicle sticks to join them all together. And it's going to make sense. You kind of saw the photo. We're kind of creating an awning with this. I just wanted to do something different with the butter dish. I've seen a lot of different people doing different butter dish DIYs, and I'm like, I wanted to put my own little spin on it. And in fact, this was made to go on a floating shelf in my bedroom. So it's just kind of like, we all want different shelf sitters. So I am using my drill. I have a Black & Decker. I also have Ryobi tools as well, but you can use whatever you like. And I'm using a drill bit just to fit the diameter of the dowels from Dollar Tree. Now I use the bottom to kind of help me with the placement of the skewers or the dowels. You'll see as the video goes. It's so hard to explain some of these things on a voiceover, but you get the idea. So that's going to be what's going to hold up our roof for our awning. And then I just added some extra dowels as the glue dried, and I let it set. And I am using Gorilla Glue. So I feel like it gives me the best bond, but you can use E6000 as well in combination. And then I didn't drill any holes in the bottom of my base. I'm just going to glue them to the inside. You'll see. And then of course, like I said, make sure your black paint's dry. Give it a good whitewash. You could do whatever color palette you like. And I just like the texture of this, and I didn't do it heavy coated either. I just kind of did it like a dry brush. Then I did the same thing for the top, because you will be able to see up underneath. So I just went ahead and did the whole thing. Like, this is what we're going to see. So obviously when I took some photos, you could see up underneath, and I didn't want it to be black. So I went ahead and gave it one base coat of white and just be messy with it. And that is Dixie Belle's fluff. Now, listen, this video is old. This is an older video. I recorded this past spring. Actually, I think it was in January, and I was using Clorox wipes like crazy, because I'm like, I don't want to put baby wipes into my paint. And so I was using Clorox wipes and thinking, oh, they're disinfecting. It's not, not going to cross-contaminate. Looking back now, I'm like, why was I using all the Clorox wipes? Don't use them for craft projects. Use them for disinfecting, and use a baby wipe instead, or a paper towel or a t-shirt. So you're going to take, and I'm using Coffee Bean from Dixie Belle, but you can use, I love the Java color from Folk Art. You can use it too. And you're just going to basically stain all your popsicle sticks and your dowels wherever it's going to be visible. Now we are going to be adding sides to our awning, so we're going to do those later, but for right now, moving forward, this is what we're doing. Now, this is a really cute project to do with your kids. It's so fun. I think it's a really cute idea. It'd be something great to make as a gift for someone, like a housewarming or just everyday decor for your home. Now, I did pick up 2 packs of the salt and pepper shakers that are the glass ones. They're not the plastic ones. And I just dry brushed them with the excess paint that was left over on my brush from the Dixie Belle when we were painting the white coat. And I just lightly went over them and kind of gave them like a vintagey feel. And then you're going to dry those. And then you're going to take, and we're going to wrap some twine around them and just tie a cute little bow. Just be very simple, and these fit perfectly. I did have to do some improvising, and I marked my dowels how far I wanted to cut because it was too tall. I wanted to lower it a little bit, so I just put it in and marked it and then stuck it back in. Now I glued my dowels to the back side of my creation because it overhangs a little bit. You'll see when we add the awning, You don't want to put your dowels in the front. You don't want to put them in the middle. You want to put them in the back. So right here, I'm tying twine around the top part where your like salt and pepper shaker lid goes. Just tying twine around all 4 of them and sticking them in. And then I'm just going to glue them to each other. That way I could take them out and change them later if I wanted to. And I'm not gluing my flowers in either. I'm just sticking them inside. So again, very versatile, very universal. It looks spring, but I totally plan on changing this up for fall and Christmas. It can be for multiple seasons, but right now mine is summer, like a summer season. So that's what I have in there is summer flowers. So do you see how I put the dowels in the back? Because the awning will hang over the top and it's going to extend. See, it's perfect. It sets off the back a little bit, but then the awning is going to clearly overhang. So I'm showing you like glue your dowel inside the bin and then glue them to the jars. And there you go. And now we're going to put our awning on. I'm going to test our placement. Again, we're going to need to trim off our popsicle sticks, but I didn't want to do that yet until I knew exactly how this was going to lay out. And so I'm going to glue it to there, and then I'm going to also glue it to the dowels. It's very simple. It's very easy. And the Gorilla Glue is a great bond, but you can use the E6000 as well if you want. I don't ever really, unless I'm doing glass, I really don't use a lot of the E6000 with my hot glue when I'm gluing things together. And I know people are really particular. I like I said, made this months ago and it's still perfectly fine. And you see, I'm using 10 snips and it's still not popping that glue. So go ahead and cut your popsicle sticks down. And there you go. Because we're going to add a top and we're going to add sides. And then just trim these up as you need to. And then what you want to make sure that you remember when you're cutting these is make sure that not when you're cutting them, but when you're putting the popsicle sticks on to make the awning, make sure that you put your popsicle sticks down low enough that when you do cut, you're not cutting off those supports. Hope that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And now we're going to make the sides of our awning to make our little cover on the sides. You could leave it empty if you want to and put something else on there, but that's all I did is put one popsicle stick. I traced it out, glued it, and then I cut it, and then we just trim it up and glue it on. And it wasn't a perfect fit, but it was good enough. And then we're going to stain it afterwards. And we're going to do 2 of those because we're going to have 2 sides. And then we're also going to do a top, and we're just going to use a larger popsicle stick. You'll see. So just dry fit it, place it, mark it, put you a popsicle stick on there, and it should be pretty secure. I love this idea. I have seen so many cute butter dish ideas over on Facebook, and I'm in a lot of different groups. I've seen some on YouTube as well. But I just thought, let's do something totally different. It just turned out really adorable. Somebody, I think, commented, because I had this over on Facebook, that they said it looked like a little tiki hut. Like, it kind of did. If you had a little, like, grass skirt or, like, the raffia that you would have added. I ended up adding, like, a pom, like, swag banner. But you can see on here, the back is open, but we're going to put a top and we're going to put some moss. It just looked very cute. It just looked cute. I just wanted to add a little touch to it. So I'm just using a stick from a pack. I think I got at Home Depot maybe, or Lowe's. And you'll see some gaps there. Don't worry about that unless you're not planning on covering that. I am planning on covering it with moss. That's what you see kind of sitting down there in the corner is moss. So we're going to top it off with some moss. Use plenty of glue for this. And it is messy. It gets ridiculously messy. And I started by gluing to the front, and then I filled in on the inside. And see how you can look up underneath there, and you can see how I painted the dowel white and the underside of the butter dish white as well. And then I did clean up where I got some white paint onto my dowels. I did kind of like add a little bit of extra stain to it. So just glue. You know the drill with the moss. It's a nightmare to work with, but it's so stinking cute in the end. But just glue and glue and glue, and then you're going to be able to trim. You're going to get glue on your fingers like I did. You're going to just keep gluing a lot. But it's going to be really cute. And I just, like I said, I think it's going to be a really cute gift or something summery. Maybe you could possibly put it outside. But look at how cute. And then I just took some scissors and just started trimming. I just trimmed the extra. And I just left it. I didn't do anything else to it. And then I picked up these flowers I think I got them at the Dollar Tree. And I did, maybe I got them at Michael's. You know what? It's been so long I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was possibly one of the two. But I did the lavender and the blue flowers, and then I added in just a little bit of the green sprigs there just to dress it up a little bit. But look how cute. Then I found the Valentine's pom-pom. It was like, I can't remember where I got that at either. Goodness gracious, my memory is bad. But I added this little swag to the top of it. Just a little like fun banner. But if you love my channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. And don't forget, we are going to stain the sides of this, but basically this is what our project looks like. It's completely done, and I think it turned out really cute. And again, you could use any colors, you can do different flowers. It's just adorable. Okay, so we're going to stain the sides of our awning now. Don't forget, you can use paint or stain. It's totally up to you what you'd like to use, but we're going to use paint for this one. And this is basically it. This is our project. It's completely finished. It's done. I think it turned out absolutely adorable, and I cannot wait for you to see the next project. Again, use some scissors, clean up any, moss that's, getting in your way and any of the things. Dress it up where you want to, and stick around for the next project. I think you're going to love it. Okay, this one's a little bit different. I'm not going to lie, it's totally different. So we're going to use a cereal box and all the supplies you see there. I told you this is going to be a little bit of a different one. However, we're using supplies from different places. Now, I will tell you, I recorded this for a group that I was a part of for one of my crafter friends. And so the lighting is a little off on this one, as well as a couple of these other videos. I don't know what the deal was, but nevertheless, it is what it is. I know you guys will have grace and forgiveness with the quality issues, but this was my old office. It was a ginormous mess. I had a 4-foot folding table. But anyways, here we are. You're going to be able to make this super cute cereal box birdhouse, or you can use any box that you like. Now, I just cut the tops off, and then I'm folding the sides in and gluing them over. And then we are going to trace the sides that we cut off, and we're going to re-glue them back on. And you'll see what we do here. It's pretty simple. So I decided, why not, I don't know, I just wanted to do something different. One of the challenges I was given was to make a project using things that I had laying around the house. And this was one of them. So I just started by gluing on my side to my cereal box. Of course, who doesn't love Oreo O's? Not sponsored, by the way. But maybe they would one day. Who knows? But y'all know what I'm saying. So basically, you're just going to, cut your board, your cardboard to fit the dimension of that. And I just glued and cut. I just wing it, basically. We're going to cover it up with some sticks from the backyard. That's what's laying over to the side. So I just went out in the backyard and found some sticks. Now, I do have some coffee filters here, and I was using them to put my paint in, and then I was like, it was so messy to use coffee filters. And so I just started using paper plates, but you could do both. It's totally up to you, whatever you like. And I'm using Waverly paints, and we're going to paint the top of this black. Again, this was previously recorded for a group, so you're going to see my hands moving and things like that. I was explaining a lot of things, but I thought I had to share this with you guys. So I just painted the top black, because when we put the sticks on, we don't want to see the cereal box, because the sticks are not perfect. They're not going to cover the whole top. So go ahead and paint that. And then I did dry it with my heat tool. And then we're just going to dry the whole thing. And then we're going to use Waverly's white to add the coating to the front of our cereal box. I call it a birdhouse, but it's the cereal box becoming a birdhouse. And then I didn't worry that the black kind of got into my paint. It kind of gave it that old looking feel to it. So just do one coat. It covers pretty well. You may want to add a second coat if you can see your cereal box through, but I added quite a bit of paint and didn't have any issues. But you can see that's one coat. And I was showing that there's a little bit of streaking. I added a little bit more to say, well, what do you do if you get paint on your box? You can just add some white over it. It's okay. And then I did the sides. I did not do the back, but you can if you're going to put this like as a centerpiece or in an area where you're going to see the back of it. But for me, I just didn't paint the back of it. And we're adding a little porch to this too. So it's going to extend off the front. And then I just took my brush and just created a little like distressed weathered look. Now we're going to use something to create circles for our little like openings to our birdhouse where like the birds can go inside, and we're going to add popsicle sticks for our little perches. It's going to be adorable. So I just took something the diameter of what I thought fit the perspective or the proportion. Yeah, it would be the proportion of the project. So if you have a larger box, then you're going to obviously use larger openings. And so I just used my paintbrush to be our little like doorway. I mean, use what you got on hand, guys. Get creative. And then we're going to paint the doorway black, and then we're going to paint our circles as well. Sometimes these chip brushes are awful and you just got to cut your bristles down. So that's what I did. I just cut the bristles off. And then you're going to paint the little circles of your openings for your little like where the birds can go inside. To paint them black too. They don't even have to be perfect. You want them to look really rustic and organic, like they're not a perfect circle. Be kind of messy with it. You don't really want to have the best, coverage maybe. Just, wing it. Wing it. That's how we're living our life nowadays, right? So this ended up being a very fun project for my friend Melanie. She is also a DIYer. I love her. She's my good friend. And this just was very unique. I think this is at the time of recording this, it was one of those we can't leave our house type of things. And so it's like, what do I have on hand that I can craft with? So this is how we DIY in quarantine, to be honest with you. So I just went to my backyard. I was like, cereal box, we can make cute stuff. And here we are doing all the things, living our best life. So I just used an X-Acto knife and popsicle sticks. And that's what I used to create the perch. And then just glue them in, and then they won't go anywhere. And I did that for all of these. And I did have to cut the popsicle sticks down because obviously the box is not as deep. And just stick them in and glue them. That's it. Don't have to be perfect. And you'll see, like, y'all saw the photos. It was a really cute little birdhouse. No one even knew it was an Oreo box. Now you know, but if I would have just showed you, you would have never guessed. And I am going to tie some raffia to these perches just to kind of dress them up. Not that we don't do that in real life. Like, birdhouses don't end up looking that way. I did have a couple issues with that one up there. It wanted to separate, so I had to add glue back to it where I added the front on. But look, it's not even perfect. My cut's not even right. It is not the greatest, but it is what it is. And I'm gluing these popsicle sticks to the underside, and that's going to create our little porch. I'm like, come on, we got a little birdhouse with a porch. This is actually sitting on the centerpiece of my kitchen table right now. It's very farmhousey, so super cute. Look at my lines. Do you see the lines of my popsicle sticks? They're totally going at a diagonal. I was like, what in the world? How off is this? I was like, do I take them off and start over? No. We just went with it. It's okay. It's fabulous. It's perfect. And then I just added my little the attachments so that they kind of stay together. That way they don't cup, You know what I'm saying? I know y'all know what I'm saying. I feel like when I do these voiceovers, I feel like everybody's like nodding their head, either agreeing or they're going, I have no clue what you're talking about. But how cute, right? Doesn't even matter if you get it wrong. It's okay. We can make it work. So I wanted to add railing. I did a thing with this little birdhouse, and I think it just turned out adorable. But I will list all of the things that I use in the description below. Again, please consider, subscribing to my channel, and I hope you enjoyed these. These were some fun little projects from my Facebook that I thought everybody could enjoy since I was on vacation last week. But there'll be a new video next week for you guys with brand new projects that we're going to work on. Thinking we're going to probably do some fall things and maybe a couple like every day. Like, I don't know. I blend in some different stuff. Like I do Farmhouse, I do Boho, fall, summer. Just are you here for it? Are you here for all the things? I guess that, that's what matters most, is it doesn't really matter what we do as long as it's, creative and fun and you guys enjoy it. I think that, that's just what makes me excited. So again, just take you some sticks, break them off in different, lengths, glue them on. You ain't got to get it perfect. You ain't got to get it right. Look at those popsicle sticks. Look at the back of my box. Like, do you see? But it's going to be cute. It is. I believe in myself. Every time I do a project, I'm like, there's always an ugly duckling phase. There's always the ugly duckling phase. Nobody likes it. Nobody gets the vision. And then in the end, it always comes together. Either we love it or we don't. But you can go probably right now and get some twigs out of the backyard, get you a cereal box, get you some white paint, black paint, some popsicle sticks, and you can create your own little birdhouse. This is definitely, like, these projects that we did in this video are definitely, like, could be so kid friendly that you could do them with your kids, because school hasn't gone back yet, but, just give it a try. I think they would love this. But look at this. It's just farmhousey. It's cute. Just screams like, love it. I'm loving it. Now we did add to our front porch some moss. I think we did like some Spanish moss. Added some little like, what are they? They're like, the bowls of like stuff in the, like nesting, the nest stuff. So I imagine there was stuff falling out. Birdhouses don't look like this. It's totally decoration, but you know what I'm saying. And then we're just going to tie on some raffia, like I said, trim up, any areas that you need to. But this is basically it. Now, I did have a spot where my popsicle stick wanted to pop off the side, and I ended up fixing that. And then I added some tiny twigs to kind of cover up the transition of the front to the back. But you can totally add ribbon, you can add a bow, you can do your cereal box birdhouse however you like. And again, this is just a combination of different things from random places. This was definitely a quarantine craft challenge. And I think for me, I nailed it. I'm believing myself. I think I nailed it. And I just tied them and then glued the little loops to the perches. That's it. I know you can't even see what's going on because, it's hard to craft sometimes like this when you're recording things. But I'll turn it around for you here in a second. I know it could be frustrating when us DIYers don't get it completely right. But I know that you guys understand. We got to see what we're doing too. But that is what basically what the whole project looks like. I did lay it down. I was like, oh, people probably should see this. So just took the tiny little twigs that were left and just framed out the front. And that's basically it. It's it, and you could put feet on it. You could put it on a stand. You could do what you want. You could put a hook through it. You could hang it. You name it, you could do what you want with it. But this is our cereal box birdhouse. So every day, or totally could be summer. And if you stick around, you're going to see the next video coming up in just a second. Tell me that ain't cute right there. Tell me that isn't the cutest. All right. So this one, again, every day or could totally be summer. Depends on how you want to make it. I will preface this video. I had major issues with my camera. It was glitching out on me. In fact, I had to get a totally different camera. If you can't make it through this one because of the lighting and the focusing in and out, I totally understand. But I tried to make this one really short. So we're using a chalkboard from the Dollar Tree and a book page, just a random book page. And we're going to, what I did is I just knew that fit. So I'm going to use that as my template to cut our scrapbook paper because this is inlaid and I couldn't trace the outside. So all I did was just use the straight edge of my book page, since it did fit in the inside of our chalkboard frame, to cut my scrapbook paper. And now I am doing the navy theme in my bedroom. So I wanted this part of the scrapbook paper. So I was just showing you the other one, how you can cut it. And I'm using Dixie Belle's coffee bean to stain this wood. And then I'm just using a regular craft brush. Like I said, use the lid, use some water. I love those spray bottles from Hobby Lobby, but you can get them on Amazon as well. Actually, I have a whole blog post about the craft supplies you should totally have in your craft stash. You know, you could totally check it out on my website. Anyways, again, with the Clorox wipes, please don't do that. You could totally tell, like, I'm like, this is not working out well. But it was too cute not to share. So this is probably one of my most favorite little projects. It's like a little, it's an easy little project you can do. And this is where I showcased how I stain my wood with a baby wipe and paint. And ever since then, everybody's like, I love that trick. I'm not buying stain anymore. I'm totally using paint and the baby wipe trick. I love that idea. So there you go. If you did not know that tip, you can always use a wipe and paint diluted to stain your wood. Of course, do the outside, do the inside. You don't have to, if you want to paint it solid and not do the wiping back method, you don't have to, but you're going to go all the way around this. And I'm going to use a stencil to stencil on to our frame a cute little pattern. Now, I know it's not for everybody to be like busy minded with some of your stuff. Some people just love very simplistic decor. Like you would have been just a-okay with the scrapbook paper and the family, but I added like a stencil, I added some doilies. I dressed my project up the way that I wanted it to look, and you can totally make it the way you want it to. But for me, I make things that I like, and then I just want you to improvise. I want you to think outside the box, use what you love, and make it your own, okay? I did not end up painting the inside of our frame at all. I just stained it and then went around it and just wiped up the paint that was dried, or that was overlapping. And then we just pulled the paint back. And then we're going to, of course, glue our scrapbook paper in. And then I do add the Mod Podge with the doilies. So one thing I will say on the Facebook video is a lot of people were like, I am not a fan of the doilies. I personally like the doilies. I think it's really, really cute, but it's not for everybody. I know that it's not for everybody, and that's okay. And I use my heat tool, and I use it on the 120 setting to dry things. You can use a hair dryer as well. Again, cup with a paintbrush. I do save a lot of my artisan brushes. I just don't save my chip brushes. And then we're going to use, of course, our Mod Podge. And you can use a foam brush. You could use a chip brush. It's totally up to you. Now, I do like to use the Mod Podge with the finer brush around the edges of a smaller surface. Sometimes I find that the chip brush gets it all over the place, and this allowed me to go directly around the edges and then drag it back with the foam brush. And I reuse a lot of brushes as well, so I think you get the best use out of them. But add your Mod Podge, and you're going to want to be very careful with your scrapbook paper because this is inset, and you're not going to be able to use like the rolling pin trick. You're just going to have to trust the process and glue it all down. And still, even then, I got like glue everywhere. There is no like perfect crafter, I believe. There's no way to perfectly like make all the things happen. Like we all have things go wrong. And this one just so happens to be like a perfect fit, but yet I still got glue everywhere. How does that even happen? So my trick was, let me just go ahead and use a flat edge to push down my edges within my frame. And that was basically it. Use your heat tool or your hair dryer to dry your scrapbook paper. I'm not putting a clear coat over the paper because I'm going to be doing the doilies over that. So I will do that later. But you guys get the idea of what this looks like. It's really adorable. Now, this family sign, I got at Walmart, and I'm using Dixie Belle's in the navy. It is my color of choice. No, I do not even mix up my paints. I just open the lid and start going right to town. I don't think there's any clear rule that says you have to do any specific thing. Nevertheless, I am using 2 different brushes to get in between because I want the family to be to stand out, and I wanted the background to be navy. I am doing, like I said, a navy theme in my bedroom, and if your theme is turquoise, you do you. Like, you just fill in what you like. If you want to paint the inside a wood stain, you can do that as well. But for me, I'm going to go ahead and paint the entire inner part of this sign navy. So once we get done painting it navy, the outside letters, like the face of the letters, I am going to just do a whitewash over them. I went ahead and went straight to drying, but I used the Dixie Belle's fluff with just a craft brush, and I just did a light coat over the lighter brown with the white. And then we're going to use the stencil. I think I got it from Michael's, and we're just going to use some painter's tape, and we're going to do just a little stencil around the edges of our sign. And make sure you line it up. This is the one I wanted to use. I felt like it had like a little bit of a modern farmhouse boho feel to it. And so this is the stencil part I used. It was not the easiest one to use. However, it was adorable. It was so cute. So I'm just going to use a craft brush. You can use, a foam brush if you want to. And I'm just going to dab along, and I just use my lid. So I did the top, the sides, and the bottom, and I did them in different ways. So you'll see that here in just a few seconds. Like, go all the way around your frame. So I did do the top, the bottom, and the sides, and you're going to just basically coat the whole thing. One coat, and then you're just going to move your stencil around and place it again. So I've already done the top and the bottom, and then here's the sides, and I just picked a different part of this stencil to do a little bit of a different pattern. So you can kind of see, it's just like dots and larger dots. It's just what I wanted, but you guys can totally, make your own, how you like. Again, I think I got this stencil at Michael's. It turned out pretty cute for me. I liked it. So here's my 2 little doilies that I got from Dollar Tree. And you can use Mod Podge. You can hot glue them if you want to. I went ahead and just used a craft brush. And I did find that it was kind of difficult to Mod Podge onto the doily and then add it. I should have just put the whole, coated the whole cover, like the whole scrapbook paper with Mod Podge, but I didn't. So I just glued on and made a ginormous mess. Like, we always make messes, don't we? We always make messes. Now, this is where a lot of people were like, I loved it until you added the doilies. I liked this. I just love how it kind of toned down the feel of it, and it's going to allow the family to stand out a little bit more. I loved this. It's very mixed media. Some people just don't do mixed media. I liked it, but hot glue your word family on, or whatever else you could do the bear, like a mama bear. It'd be adorable. This is our project. I love it. I think it's just very simple. It's just a chalkboard we totally transformed. Again, I have another project for you, so let's get to the next one. All right, this one I did in the spring, and it could totally be Valentine's, it could totally be spring, it could totally be any time of year. I think it's going to definitely vary on what you decide to use as far as like your flowers, your papers, the things like that. You could definitely not use a heart at all. But I went ahead and went with this, and I still have this in my home. So I just think it's just a really cute wall piece, and it's a little bit larger. And yes, I'm using some pieces from different stores and a piece of cardboard, and I'm going to totally make it look like it's kind of high end. So you're going to paint the whole entire cardboard with a light coat of whatever paint of your choice. I happen to be using Dixie Belle. So just coat the whole board in one dry brush coat. And I even tore my cardboard to where it still is exposing like the corrugated area. But this is what it's going to look like when you add your base coat. And that's going to be your full coat. Like, you're not going to add any more unless you want better coverage. So I love to use cardboard as, in my projects. I just think it's really fun. Dry it, of course, and I did sand it to distress it a little bit more. And then I think what you have to do is just decide, do you want to use a surface board or you want to use cardboard? Now, let me tell you a story about this real quick. So I had this brainy idea. Why not try to make the buffalo check tissue paper be perfect? So I thought, okay, let's trace it and cut it. Not realizing, I should just take the heart apart and just do it that way. No, I have to make things a little bit more difficult. So see, I cut my strips. I'm like, why didn't you just do that and just take it all apart in the first place? Nope, not this girl. So I am using Mod Podge, and I ended up making it work, but I Mod Podged over the entire thing. And then I finally was just like, I'm over it. I definitely recommend that you just put your tissue paper or your napkin directly on your scrapbook paper and just don't worry about it. Take your heart apart if you want to. If not, it's fine. I realized I forgot my white paint to cover this up because this was tissue paper and the color was coming through. So I had to completely redo the bottom piece. That's why you see it's completely got another piece drying there. I forgot to add the paint. So I like to mix my paint with my Mod Podge, and it helps me cover the underside of whatever it is. And we just went with the flow. Okay. So we make mistakes. We forget certain steps. The point is just, make it happen, get your stuff out, paint it on there, and just go on about it. You can recover. You can still use your stuff that you've been working on. Okay. So we made this work. I think that heart turned out precious. Totally Valentine's DIY, but I made it farmhousey. We took this Valentine's heart and made it farmhousey. And I'm using I got these rocks from IKEA and I cut the container in half to make our vase. But you can use anything. You can use a plastic jar, a pencil holder, whatever you like. And the great thing about this is that you could cut the pieces off. Like I said, you should do this in the beginning. I didn't do it, but I'm telling you now. If you happen to have gotten this heart, you can just take these pieces apart. Don't even worry about trying to make it all perfect. Just do you. But when you do glue it on, I wanted to glue it in the sections. So I didn't glue it exactly to each other. So still stagger it when you glue it onto your cardboard. And yes, the cardboard is part of my sign. I'm not putting any other backer on it. I'm putting a hanger on it, so it'll be good. And then just glue it onto the cardboard. And then we're good to go. Now, I will say it was a little interesting trying to figure out that IKEA container that had the rocks in it, but I figured it out. I certainly did. And I think we did a fantastic job. Could you use something else to make that little jar? Of course, but I wanted it to look I love mixed media. I love different dimensions. This was a heart doily, of course, from Dollar Tree that I got. But again, I don't think that this has to look Valentine's or spring. I think this can just look like an everyday decor piece. This could go in the hallway. It can go on your gallery wall. It could go on your wedding wall. And that's this is actually in my bedroom. So I have a little section in my bedroom that has like a floating shelf, and I wanted to do something that this went with my color palette, and I just put the flowers in and put this on to kind of fill, you want larger pieces to anchor your gallery wall. So I took the tissue paper and I'm wrapping my half jar vase, because we're totally DIYing that, and I'm going to glue it onto this IKEA jar. Why not? And I did mix the white paint with it. So go ahead, glue it on, tuck it in. We're going to hot glue this bad boy right onto our board, and we're going to put some flowers in there, and it's going to be adorable. Now, everybody's got them boxes laying around. I am no different. So I love to chop up the boxes and make projects with them. I think it's the funnest thing to do, and it's most affordable. So I painted our little heart white, and we're going to glue that to the front of our jar. And I'm taking these little sprigs that I want to say I got them at Dollar Tree. Pretty sure maybe I got them at Walmart. I'm not certain. Y'all, I have a terrible memory. Some things I can remember everything, and other things I'm just like, what happened? Like, what happened yesterday? I don't know. I know some of these came from Dollar Tree, and some of them maybe came from Walmart or Michael's. I don't really know. Y'all probably use what you want to use anyways, so it really doesn't matter. But I just made it to where the stem's long enough to fit inside my little vase. And then I just glued around the edges of the jar and glued it onto my cardboard. And there you have it. Super cute. Super stinking cute. It looks adorable. It's not perfect. It's fine. But it's got some dimension to it. And I just started tucking the flowers in. Just tuck them in. Add whatever you like. And as you can see, even if you did just the white flowers, it's everyday decor. But you could add in something totally different. On that heart, you didn't have to do the pink. You could have just done the white, and it would have been fine. But this is what it looks like. We are going to add our little heart on there. I hope you like that. Super affordable project. And we're going to go right into the next project here in just a second. I did use a piece of twine to put on the back of this to hang it. Just very simple. All right. So the next project is a mixture again. Dollar Tree, I think some Michael's items, and this one In fact, funny story. This was a day I was having issues with Facebook and my camera and all the things. Totally understand if you're like, I can't sit through this. But those of you who do, I appreciate you guys. So this is again from before I had my creative building here that I'm in now. I have an entire building that I just work out of. I saved lots of money to buy this building. And so I'm in my other office. The lighting was terrible. The camera did not work right. Nothing was working in my favor until I got everything set up the way that I wanted to. But funny story is my Facebook was not working. I think we had a whole shutdown on Facebook. And this was recorded live on YouTube. Like 2 years ago, last year. Like late last year maybe. I don't remember exactly. Y'all, the days run together. Nevertheless, I put it on YouTube and then I downloaded it and put it back on Facebook because I was not really on YouTube much. I had a channel, but like wasn't utilizing it whatsoever. But here I am now giving you all the things, and hopefully you guys are loving it. So this was a Michaels board that had a clip on it, and I took the clip off and I just painted it white, and I'm using a paintbrush to add some like dimension to the slots. And then we're just going to use some, what do you call it, burlap ribbon, and we're going to add a wrap to it. We're going to make a little pocket to put flowers in. We're just going to make it really cute, but you're just going to go over the entire board like so, and then dry it, sand it if you want to. This ribbon came from Michaels. It is wired. Again, wrapping it around, gluing it, doing the thing. But what this is going to allow is for us to add some flowers like it's a pocket. So just glue it on the back. There is no real top or bottom to this. You can, just glue it on. Find your placement. You can actually do this with the Dollar Tree. Did you guys get the Dollar Tree boards? It was like the 6-pack. You could do that as well with this. So you don't even have to get like a Michaels board, which I think this board was like $2. Either way, it was cute. And just use something. I, sometimes use a butter knife. I use silicone glue fingers, whatever you want to call them. But for this, I am using this boxwood. That's what it is. Boxwood from Walmart. And we're just going to trim it down and we're going to put it into our little pocket that we create. And I'm just using some wire cutters. And you're going to snip off all of these little sprigs, enough to where you can put the stem or the stemmed area into the burlap ribbon. And just tuck it in like it's a flower. Yep, just tuck it in. So I'm going to add a bead hanger to this, or I'm going to add twine to hang it, and then we're going to add a tag that says pick one. So I just drilled through to add my hanger, and before I went to gluing things in, just go ahead and pre-drill your holes, and then just tuck your flowers in. Now mine were a little bit off to where I wanted them to fit, so I was cutting off little segments of my flowers to make them look like sprouts. You guys get the idea. And then I just reached up under and glued everything. Use your knife. You guys get the idea of everything. And then we're doing the Dollar Tree's welcome. It came with the Happy Easter and Welcome 3-pack. I love to use things year round, like different times of the year, but I thought this would be really cute. This actually went on my pantry door in my house, this hanger here, but it could go on any door. Now I'm making the bead tag, and I'm using the Dollar Tree beads, and we're just going to paint them white. And we're going to use a marker or a pen, and we're just going to, or paint, and you can just write on your tag whatever you like. Now I'm just going to tie this on, like I said, and just create a little tag and just tuck it in. It's going to be really cute. I think, if you don't like the tag and you just want to go without it, that's totally fine. There is easier ways to paint these beads, but this girl right here was just like, let's just do it. I was so frustrated because I should have just spray painted them and I didn't. But that yellow and orange is really hard to cover up. So I use those beads for occasional projects, but freehand or use a marker or a pen to write whatever little saying you want on your little tag. It's totally up to you. I happen to just write pick one, as if you're going to just pick a flower or something like that. I don't know if anyone gets that, but that's what I did. And then I'm going to attach that to the beads. once they're dry. And we're just going to make a little hang down tag. It's going to be cute. It's going to be adorable. We're using some little jute rope to create our hanger and just tie you some knots. Use what you got. Totally use what you got. You don't got to use all the things that I use, but you know, make something cute out of it. Just gives you an idea to inspire you, but these are really cute things that you could do. You know, like I said, this is just a super cute thing you could do for summer or year round. Now, for me, this is still hanging up on my pantry door because I think it could be every day, but it could have that spring or summer feel as well. And you could dress this up with, you know, something for winter or fall, you name it. You just get crafty and creative and just do whatever you like. So I decided, you know, for me, using these Dollar Tree beads is great and all. But I really, you know, I know that most people are on a budget and they're not going to buy the beads on Amazon. But I just started buying the natural beads. I've used the colored beads at Dollar Tree for so long. And I just was like, it's so hard to deal with them sometimes, but they are really cute. I do love the shape of them, but I did not like the sorting. I did not like to have to sort through. So when I did my knot on my hanger, I just left it open so that I could tie on my tag to that. And then I tightened my hanger. And then I just cut the little strands off. And there you've got your cute little hang tag on your little sign. And then we're going to add a bow to this, and I'm just using different random strips. And the ribbon strips I'm using are the color palette for my home, but you can pick what you like, totally up to you, but I'm just using the ones that fit my home. And we're just going to put them on together. You know, we got some different polka dots, some whites, some blues, black polka dots. I love this. And you just do the X pattern, and which is going to be dainty right there in the center. And that's all I did. And I did keep with the pattern for this bow instead of doing a messy bow. It's just a basic, like, I don't want to say, it's just a ribbon bow. But we're going to use twine, and we're going to just put it all together, tie it up, and I think we're going to add a button to this one too to finish it off. But this is this project. I hope you like this one. I think it's really cute. I don't know, I just think it's fun to make different things and, you know, keep your brain busy doing all the crafty stuff. But we will be up with the next project right after this one. In fact, this one is going to be like the little whatchamacallit. It's like the one I didn't expect. It's going to be like a little bonus for you. And if you want to totally check it out, you can. It wasn't planned. I totally forgot that I added it here, but the video is basically already done. So it's not in the images, but you'll see. So glue your bow down. Just use hot glue. Just use hot glue. We did not add a button. We added a flower. There's a paper flowers from the paper studio at Hobby Lobby. And those are super cute. Those are super cute. Look at how cute that is, y'all. And then we did add a button. Y'all, I love watching my videos back sometimes. But here it is, y'all. It's so cute. I love it. All right, on to the last and final project. I think you're going to like this one too. I always say that. Y'all know. I always say that. But here we go. Dollar Tree, popsicle sticks, messy double layered bow. Now, this video does not show you how to make that bow. It just shows you how we're going to make the sign. The bow is on a different video over on Facebook, but nevertheless, this is the little sign we made. And I think what's cute about this, and the reason I wanted to add this one, and I remember now, is that you can replace the sunshine and with something Christmassy. I did this, it's like a cutout from Dollar Tree that's Easter, but I think it has a Christmas feel or a fall feel to it. So you could substitute the pink gingham tissue paper that, by the way, came from Dollar Tree, and I'm using these popsicle sticks from Hobby Lobby. They're smaller ones. I usually use the ones from Lowe's or Home Depot, but I wanted to use the smaller ones for this project. And you're just going to line them up, glue your sticks together. But what I was going to say is you can put in like Merry Christmas in the center of this wreath, and you can change out your bow to be like Christmassy, or you can make it more everyday. It does not have to be something that's spring or summer, but it could be either one. So I like to use the bent popsicle sticks on the back side of the things that I do. Sometimes they get put on the front, sometimes they don't, but I knew I was going to be putting a bow on this, so I think it worked out in the end. But we're going to use the paint and the spray bottle with the baby wipe or Clorox wipe trick, and I just use a scraper to get the excess glue off that seeps through. Now, you can do this sideways or you can do it up and down. It's totally up to you. Again, this girl is with the Clorox wipes. You can totally tell how like this was like early January before all the stuff went down and everything. You'll know what I'm talking about when you watch this video. No matter what, whether it's 2020 or next year. I was using the Clorox wipes to craft with, and that I just, it is what it is. Can't go back and fix it. But here we are, switching over to the baby wipes. But I just paint on one coat, and then I use a wipe to knock back the paint, and it allows me to stain the wood quickly. I don't want to use like wood stain, so just double it up. Get your heat gun, your hair dryer, dry it on up, and then we're going to add like a whitewash type of feel to this. The only thing is I really wish that I would have chippied this board instead of just whitewashing it, because I think it would have just looked cooler, but I just went with the whitewash dry brush. It just, I don't know. Looking back, I think I would have liked it better with the scrapey chippy method, which I love that finish, by the way. But this one works out okay. You can just use a chip brush with it. But I would love to know, you guys, out of all these projects we've done today, which one did you like? Which one did you like the most? I think this one might, I don't know. I think it's just a fun, easy project. But I love these. And, don't forget, if you're new here, I am still sort of new to YouTube, but I'm not new to I'm not new to the DIY stuff. I was a Facebook first creator, coming over to the YouTube, just wanting to inspire more people than just one platform. I'm like, expand your bubble. Oh, widen your circle and create, there's more room for more people at the table, So I'm like, come craft with us, DIY with us in all the places. It's always a different thing. This just so happened to be something I put on over here because I was on vacation last week. By the way, Florida was amazing. And trying to, go back for my husband's birthday in September and go as a family because him and I just went together. But I'll let you know. But do you see the back of that? See what I'm saying? It looks very Christmassy, but it could totally be fall. So that's why I wanted to tell you, and we're going to be adding these green sprigs to the diameter of this. And I just did a basic coat. I wasn't trying to be perfect with it. We're going to paint over this anyways and add the pink tissue paper to it. So I wasn't really worried about getting the perfect brown, but we're just going to Mod Podge our tissue paper. And by the way, that was my mom's jar of Mod Podge. I'm like, love you, Mom, but I owe you an entire jar of Mod Podge because I ran out. So I'm like borrowing my mom's Mod Podge. I don't even know how it ended up in my house, but it did. That strip didn't fit, so I had to go get a whole totally different sheet of tissue paper and just plop it on there. I love this. It's not even really gingham. It's like a horse sawtooth pattern. And they just cut it and use sandpaper and you can, knock back your edges later. But that's the pattern I was talking about. And then just, dry your Mod Podge to your board. Tear it and then sand it. And then we're going to do the sunshine stencil in the center of that. But again, I'm telling you, the shape of that, if you got those and have those extra, would be really cute for winter because it kind of looks like a wreath. It kind of looks like a wreath. I don't even know if I have any. I'm going to have to look in my Easter bin and see if I have extra of that for Christmas. I'm going to have to whip that out. But these are really cute. You could totally use these supplies for year round. I'm telling you. Just got to get creative. Think outside the box. But we are going to do the sticker. It's a stencil sticker, reusable stencil sticker. I don't know if you picked those up. It was a group of stickers from Dollar Tree. And I wanted to use this one. And this was hanging within my rag wreath on my front door. That's what I used this for. This was my spring, summer, inside my rag wreath door hanger, because I'm terrible at wreaths, y'all. Terrible at it. I don't know if y'all are wreath makers. Let me know. You know, I'm not much of a wreath maker. I try. Like, I love to make them, but I'm not really good at it. But like I said, I just glued these sprigs onto the diameter of this frame. And it wants to be a little difficult. My glue just was not cooperating that day. But glue it down. Just go all the way around until you get to the end. And then we're going to add our stencil. Okay, so just stick your stencil on. You can reuse this one if you put it back on the sticky, but I ended up deciding not to reuse mine, but you can restick it. Now, I did Mod Podge over the tissue paper because I knew I was going to be adding a sticky stencil and I didn't want to pull up my paper. So it's totally up to you if you want to do that. If you want to use a totally different stencil, you can as well. But I'm using Dixie Belle's in the navy. I do believe, or maybe it's coffee bean. No, it's in the navy. We're using the navy color. Yeah. And we're just going to use that on our stencil there and just pull it off. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Sticky little stencil. Precious. Okay, so dry your paint. Make sure it's really dry. And then we're just going to attach this to our surface board. Now, let me tell you something. Now, you can... I added a little more white because I wanted it to pop a little more. So I was saying about the chippy finish in the beginning of this. You might want to do that, or you could just go with this and it kind of looks gray washed. So one thing I will say is this is cute either sideways or up and down. So I'm doing it up and down like this with the bow at the top, but you could do it sideways, just very simple, no bow, add a hanger, very easy to do. But this girl has to complicate the things. I have to complicate all the things. And so I'm going to be gluing mine to the bottom. Now, you could do it to the top. You could do it at the bottom. I'm a bottom girl. So this one went on the bottom. And then that bow, which, like I said, I recorded on a totally different tutorial, is over on Facebook. I just was like, do we add yet another video to this and make 7? I don't know. I was thinking about doing like a top 10 for each month or something, or like top 5 for the months as we go, like fan favorites or something, or like most loved. Yeah, I have so many ideas for my channel. I don't even know what to do with myself. And of course, you know, this girl, I've got to be taking all the pictures while I'm making all the things. Like, what is wrong with me? Anyone else do that? Like, they take photos of like what they're making while they're doing it. It's like so proud of themselves, like a kindergartner. That's me. That is this girl. I'm so proud of myself. I made something cute today. I will tell you, I was just like, the bow that hot pink is from a t-shirt. It's an old t-shirt that I had. And yes, I'm using the end of my paintbrush to like put on my hanger. Let it dry. And then you're going to add your bow. I put a sponge underneath because my glue on my hanger wasn't dry yet. So add your bow. And I did do a double layer. So I did like the little like ribbon bow. And then I did a folded over bow. And then I attached it. So it's like double dimensions. Double dimensional. You know what the drill is. But that's what our bow looks like at the end. I love it. I think it just turned out fabulous. Our project looks amazing. I would love to know if you want to make this too. Of course, trim up your edges. It's all done. So here's what it looks like. Like I said, thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I will see you on the next video.